Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
North Dakota passes some of the strongest abortion laws in the country. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, North Dakota now has taken the lead, moving past Arkansas, recently passing a bill that is probably one of the most strictest abortion laws in the country. This particular bill is a heartbeat bill, and it says that abortion after a detectable heartbeat is not permitted. And detectable heartbeat is around 6 to 7 weeks. So this now makes it the most strict abortion law in the country.
Yeah, Matt, as I recently wrote in a column, the winds of life are blowing free the foul stench of a culture of death. And we see it happening. The science, the politics, the public policy is finally catching up with the science around the country. And we can no longer bury our heads in the sand and say that life does not begin at conception. And certainly, as with Arkansas and now North Dakota, we know that life begins at least when there's a heartbeat. We know that that's always a detectable proof of life.
Well, historically, heartbeat was used to determine whether someone was dead. So why would you not use heartbeat or detectable heartbeat to determine when someone is alive? Mm-hmm. And obviously you're alive even before that, because the human being, the unique human being, is created at the moment of fertilization. But the detectable heartbeat comes at around 6 weeks, which is even before a woman typically knows that she's pregnant. And so consequently, what this does is say that when you have a fetal heartbeat that's detected, there is a prohibition on abortion because you're dealing with a human life. Recently, Arkansas passed some laws there that also was a fetal heartbeat bill, but that put this restriction or this line at 12 weeks, which is right at the end of the first trimester. And that was one of the most strict laws in the country. Liberty Counsel was involved in the Arkansas legislation. And now, of course, a few weeks later, North Dakota has passed this both in the House and the Senate. It's now to the governor's desk for signature.
I think what's particularly interesting about this bill in North Dakota, Matt, is that in addition to when a registered heartbeat is detectable, banning abortion in those instances, this bill also prohibits aborting a preborn baby because of a genetic defect, such as Down syndrome, which, I would hope that Americans with disabilities, that people across the world with disabilities would herald this as a tremendous step in the right direction in protecting also the rights of people who have various disabilities. The Planned Parenthood and the radical pro-abortion industry is steeped in, their history is steeped in the eugenics movement, Hitlerian eugenics that says some people are more valuable than other people, and that those people who might have some kind of defect or ostensibly a poor quality of life, that, what do we do with them? We just kill them. Mm-hmm. And so that's another excellent aspect of this bill.
No, it actually is. There's actually two different bills, and one is dealing with the genetic defect, such as Down syndrome, prohibits preborn abortions because of some detection of a genetic defect, and the other is the fetal heartbeat bill. There's a third bill that's also working its way through, and that is the Personhood bill that declares personhood from the moment of fertilization. And Liberty Counsel recently sent a memo to be circulated in North Dakota in support of that particular third piece of legislation. But we've known people, in fact, we had a graduate of Liberty University School of Law, Crystal Gallagher, and she was someone who her doctor or her mother's doctor told her mom that she should be aborted because she was not going to amount to anything, that she would probably die during the birthing process. And if she were able to somehow live because of the genetic defects, then therefore she would not amount to anything. Well, she was born. Her mom chose life, had no question about that. The doctor said that that was a stupid decision. Her mom had no question that it was the right decision. Crystal was born. Crystal graduated from college as a math major, and she graduated from law school and was someone who excelled in law school, not just graduated and made it just barely by, but excelled in law school. And she was someone, when you walk into a room, she would light up the room. I mean, anybody who knew her knew that she was someone who would just literally light up the room.
Yeah, and yet the pro-abortion eugenicist movement, the Planned Parenthoods of the world, say that people like Crystal are not worthy to even live. And as you point out, you're absolutely right. Any time that she would come into a room, the room would light up. What a spirit, what a sweet spirit she had, and what a contribution. But, you think of people, very, very brilliant scientists like I think Stephen Hawking, and people like that who you would think that he would certainly be the first person to herald this bill, these bills as worthwhile.
Well, you and I sat at the Bot Radio Network breakfast at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, and they gave out different awards, and one of those was the Defender of Liberty Award, which I was pleased to receive. But at our table, you remember that was a moving, a very amazing moment where an individual was seated there. He has no arms. And
Nick, and I can't think of
Nick,
his last
yes,
name. Nick.
It starts with a V, his last name, but his first name is Nick.
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair. He was in the process of doing a radio program. He's writing scripts, and as he's on the other side of the table, he has no arms.
Or legs.
I think he has some kind of like deformed toes.
Yeah.
And with that, he's texting me as fast as anyone else can possibly text.
Yeah.
We're texting back and forth across the table. This guy is an amazing individual. We look at someone like that and say that they're disabled. They're not like us. They don't look at themselves as being disabled.
That's all he's ever known.
That's all he's ever known. And God has ultimately used him in a great way to be able to have a big message and a platform that he otherwise wouldn't be able to have.
Well, I think the take-home from all this, Matt, is and certainly for any expectant mothers who might be listening right now, if you get what the world views as the bad news that maybe your child has Down syndrome or your child has a disability like Nick has that he doesn't even consider a disability, really he considers a blessing from God. I would hope that mothers listening right now would consider that, consider the lives of Crystal and Nick and other people that we're talking about here, and the incredible way that God has used them to bless other people, and that mothers listening right now would do the same thing and let that child come into the world and bless people.
Well, someone who's worked with Liberty Counsel for over 20 years, her daughter a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, gave birth to a Down syndrome child. And of course, that's a trauma that any parent would have to face, that your child is going to be different. They made a decision to give life to this child, and this child is just such an amazing joy to the parent's life and to the grandparents' life, and just such a breath of fresh air, so appreciative and happy. And, I think the message here is that in North Dakota and Arkansas, other places, Liberty Counsel is advancing life, and we need to return a culture of life in America. Yeah. Since 1973, we have looked at life as disposable because of its inconvenience to someone at a particular given time. And yet all life is created in the image of God, and we need to protect it.
Well, Matt, North Dakota, Arkansas, they are on the cutting edge in the defense of life and in eroding Roe v. Wade, which is the twin bookend to America's disgraceful Dred Scott decision that said that slaves were 3/5 human beings. Well, the Roe v. Wade decision said that people in a certain stage of development, the preborn, are not fully human beings and can be disposed of. Those are twin bookends of frankly, evil, shameful decisions that are a blight on America's history, and we're chipping away at Roe v. Wade. North Dakota, Arkansas have set the template now for other states to follow.
They have, and Liberty Counsel is very much involved in both of those states and other places around the country. We encourage you to be part of this ministry. You can advance religious liberty, the sanctity of human life, and the family by joining Liberty Counsel. You can go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, and sign up for the Liberty Alert and the Liberator newsletter, as well as along with other resources and pro-life information. I also encourage you to go to our brand new website, lifeunited.org. That's lifeunited.org. This is a project of Liberty Counsel. We are working with Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle, his wife, who are the stars of the 19 Children and Counting, the very popular TV show where they have the 19 children, all natural-born children in their family, very pro-life, along with several other pro-life organizations. And we've come together to create lifeunited.org. It's a one-stop resource. I encourage you to visit there. We'll actually be deploying some technological additions to that website in the near future, lifeunited.org, or go to Liberty Counsel's website for more information, lc.org.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.